What is your financial freedom number? And how do you figure it out if you're not quite sure what it is? I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. You know what? We're living through a very interesting time right now as an increasing number of people want to completely walk away from their jobs and remove themselves from the regular 9-to-5 grind. Ever since this whole COVID situation has ended and businesses have been calling their employees back to the offices, many employees are saying, why? Why would I possibly go back to the office after I've been working from home or working remotely for the last year and a half, 2 years, 2.5 years, or possibly even longer, which is getting a lot of people to wonder, what can I do to get out of this job? I can't keep doing this forever. This is actually a really good question, and that's what I want to answer for you in this video, because if you can figure out what your financial freedom number is, you're probably going to find it's probably not quite as much money as you realize it is, and you can probably walk away from that regular 9-to-5 job, which is ultimately the dream of so many people, especially right now, post-COVID, and we're back out there. Many people are wondering, what can I do to achieve freedom in my life? It was so nice working remotely from home, and now I'm going back to the office 9-to-5. Got to get out of here. So I want to get into all the details about this. I want to discuss what is your financial freedom number, how to figure this out, and I guarantee you this number is probably way smaller than what you actually really think it is. Don't get me wrong, the number is going to be significant to your exact situation, but you're probably going into this with the idea of something like, I need tens of thousands of dollars every single month. I doubt it. For the vast majority of people, it's nowhere even near that. So let's get into it and discuss all the details. And then, of course, I'll run you through the calculations of how you can figure this number out for you and your exact situation. So let's get right into it. However, really fast before we do, if you enjoy this type of video where we're talking about money, budgeting, finances, financial freedom, passive income, multiple sources of income, investing, all kinds of things money related and how you can get more of it and ultimately improve your financial situation, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video. I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be, and I want to share with you all of my ideas, different concepts, what's worked for me, as well as things that I practice in my own life and things that I enjoy talking about, simply because money is a very touchy subject for a lot of people, and ultimately there's a lot of people out there right now who unfortunately don't have enough money, and we need to fix that, and I want to help you out with that. So again, please make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss any videos going forward. And with that being said, let's jump into it and discuss financial freedom and what is your magical number. All right, so here's what it comes down to. Number one, as always, you need to know what your income is, but that's not the main portion of this equation. You actually need to figure out what are your expenses. In this version of the financial freedom number and how to actually figure out what it is, the biggest factor about all of this is, yes, number one, income. We need to figure out what your income is. And by the way, when I say income, I'm talking about any money that you have coming into you, whether it's earned income from a job, it could be dividend payments, it could be royalties, it could be annuities, it could be rental income, child support, any income that you're getting coming into you. Doesn't matter where it's coming from. If it is a regular source of income or virtually any income coming into you on a monthly basis, I want you to figure that out. So here's the thing though, for the vast majority of people, you probably know what your income is. Most people have a pretty good grip on how much money they're bringing in each and every month. And again, you might be off a couple $100, you might be off $150, something like that. But for the most part, the vast majority of people do know what their income is, or at least pretty close to it. But here's the problem. The most people out there do not know what their expenses are. That is the major problem. Because here's the thing. Most people have money coming in, and then the money that's going out usually is more or equal to the money coming in. Not a good situation. Let's talk through the numbers now. Here's what you need to know. Like I said, you got to know what your income is, but most importantly, you need to know what your expenses are. If you do not know what your expenses are, I would highly recommend, just like a budget, and just like I've talked about previously in other budgeting videos, I would highly recommend figure out what your expenses are. If you can go back into your bank statements or back into your credit cards, and you can figure out what your expenses are over the course of a month's time, figure all that out and itemize these different expenses. Now again, you can figure out maybe like 3 different categories. You can maybe do like necessities, you can do wants and discretionary, and maybe you can add another category, or you can break it down significantly further than that. And within maybe like the wants and discretionary category, maybe you can even say things like entertainment, went out to a movie, dinners or coffee or, whatever stuff like that. Realistically, that doesn't really matter. Mostly what you need to do is just figure out what your expenses are. That's the most important part. But it is also nice to know how much of your money is going toward wants/discretionary, because this is the category that you can possibly cut today so that you can possibly have financial freedom tomorrow. Does it make sense? So anyway, I don't want to get into a ton of details about all of that. The fact of the matter is you just need to know what your expenses are on an ongoing monthly basis. All right, good. Now that you know that, or now that you're going to start figuring that out, here's what you need to figure out next. Okay. Now that we have a good idea of what your expenses are, your living expenses, as in maybe rent, maybe a mortgage, maybe gas in your car, maybe an auto loan, insurance for your car, maybe health insurance if you pay for it on your own, food, utilities, phone bill, all of these things, the necessities. Figure out how much the necessities are, all the things that you really need on a monthly basis. So again, figure out what that all adds up to. Now, let me give you a quick example. Let's just say that your income is $3,000 a month. And again, I'm just using this as an example. I know everybody's income is very different. I'm just using this as a quick example so I can illustrate some of the differences here and what all these numbers actually shake out to be. All right, so let's just say that your income is $3,000 a month. Let's just say that you spend $1,500 on necessities every single month. And again, that encompasses all those things that I just listed. Like I said, rent, maybe a mortgage, utilities, food, gas, car insurance, auto loans, all kinds of stuff like that, whatever. Let's just say that it adds up to $1,500. So, and then let's say that you want another $500 a month for discretionary/wants. So you're at $2,000 a month, right? Okay, good. So in this example, what we're going to try to do is figure out, okay, so you're the person that I talked about at the beginning of the video, right? You're the person who post-COVID, or maybe this has been happening for a long time, you're thinking, I got to get out of my job. I can't do this for much longer. This is nuts. I'm spending 8 hours a day sitting in an office, sitting in a cubicle. I'm spending another hour a day commuting, half an hour each direction. This is nuts. I'm spending 9 hours of my life, 5 days a week, doing this thing called a job. Not fun. I got to get out of here, right? I don't blame you. So let's figure this out, and let's figure out what we can do to achieve your financial freedom number. So here's what you got to do. Now we need to start being creative. What can we do to help you achieve a $2,000 per month income that comes from not your job, as in some type of passive income and or somewhat type of remotely passive income? Now, this could come from a variety of different sources. It could come from, like I said, dividends. It could come from rental income. It could come from annuities. It could come from affiliates or royalties. There's so many different things. You could create a digital product and sell it online. You could start selling physical products, something that is residual, something that's going to continue happening. Now, when it comes down to physical products, yes, you could do that, but something more digital that you're selling online is going to have way more residual factors behind it versus a physical product that you need to keep going out there finding and then once again physically selling. And again, your market might be somewhat limited because you're probably only selling to your local area and or maybe a little bit online versus a digital product that's online. You can sell it to literally everybody. You can sell it to anybody all over the entire globe. So it's a way more better approach, right? A digital type product online. But the fact of the matter is, what we need to start doing is figuring out, okay, we've now figured out that your monthly expenses are $2,000 per month. Great. Now let's put our little thinking hats on and figure out what can we do with your knowledge, your abilities, your skill level, your experience, your talents, whatever it is that you have. What can we start doing to start generating $2,000 of income for you on a monthly basis to replace your expenses? Because here's what it comes down to. Your financial freedom number hinges on how much are your expenses and how much money are you bringing in from passive sources or other sources of income totally removed from your job, from your 9-to-5 job to pay for all your expenses. Because here's the thing. Let's just fast forward, say, a year from right now. Let's just say that you've been working very diligently on setting up some other sources of income, maybe a side hustle, something else where you can get some type of passive or remotely passive or mostly passive income. And you've set this source up over over 1 year's period of time. Okay, so now we fast forward it 1 year from right now, right? And your expenses are still $2,000 a month. So here's what we've got going on. Let's just say that your side hustle, your passive income, whatever it is that you set up is now generating $2,100 of income every single month. Guess what? You're now financially free, because here's the thing. Your job that you're reporting to on a 9-to-5 basis, 5 days a week, is no longer going to be like the linchpin between you and all of your expenses. Your passive income source that you have set up here over the last 1 year period of time is now paying for all of your expenses. In other words, you're not reliant on your job anymore. It doesn't have anything to do with your job. Your source of income that you've set up, and it could be one source, it could be 3 sources, it could be 20 sources of income. Doesn't matter. There's no limit. There's no law that says you can only have one source of income. There's no law that says if you have 20 sources of income, you're out of here. That's it. You're getting locked up. Nope, there's no rule that says that. You can have infinite numbers of sources of income. That's why it's so cool to do this, because you could do little sources, a bunch of them, or you could do, 2 sources of income that generate the necessary amount of money that you need. But the fact of the matter is, here we are, a year later after you've set out on this initiative, and there you are. You've set up a source of income that pays you $2,100 per month, and your expenses are $2,000. Therefore, you get to still pay all of your expenses, do all the things that you want to do on a monthly basis. You still get to pocket an extra $100 a month because of your passive source of income, and you can decide, do you want to go to work or do you not, right? At that point, you are financially free. And again, it doesn't even need to have that extra $100. You could have $2,000 worth of expenses, and you could have a $2,000 passive source of income. And there you go. Once again, you're financially free, because all of your expenses, everything that you need to cover on a monthly basis, all of your liabilities are now covered by somebody else, as in this other source of income, right? This passive source of income. It's now paying for that. So you're no longer reporting to the office 5 days a week, spending 9 hours a day commuting, sitting in an office, doing whatever you do, typing on a keyboard, making phone calls, whatever people do in a cubicle. You're no longer doing that, because it doesn't really matter. You don't need to rely on your trading time for money in order to get that money that you've traded your time for to pay all the bills and to get all your necessities and your expenses covered, right? Now you're financially free. That is your financial freedom number. Whatever it is. So basically it comes down to this. Just to reiterate this really quickly, it comes down to this. What are your monthly expenses? And then what is your passive income, or what is the income that you've set up outside of your job? And once that number eclipses your monthly expenses, you're now financially free. That is financial freedom. You no longer need to rely on a job. You are no longer at the mercy of your boss, and you can tell your boss to stick it if you want to. I would say do whatever you got to do for you and your situation, but handle that however you want. Again, I'm not here to tell you what to do or how to adjust your boss, but I love the approach of saying, hey, I don't need you anymore. Goodbye. See ya. You know what I mean? So you can figure that out however you want to with your boss. But the fact of the matter is, once you hit your financial freedom number, it is like the most liberating thing in the world to know, I don't need to work anymore. This is great. I can go do whatever I want, right? I can do whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't need to waste all my life and my time doing this job. I can go out and start my own business. I can do my side hustle. I can do whatever I want with my time. It does not matter anymore. My passive sources of income have set up and pay for my expenses, right? So that would be your life. That's you reflecting on your life. Not a bad thing. I bet you're sitting here right now visualizing your life thinking, sounds pretty nice. What do I need to do to get this started? Yeah, exactly. Here's what you got to do. What I would highly recommend, pull out a piece of paper, just start writing. Seriously, write down ideas. What are you good at? What do you know a lot about? How are you talented? Where do you have skills? Where do you have knowledge? Where do you have experience? Start writing. That's the best thing you can start doing. And I know it sounds so elementary, and you might be thinking, this is nuts. This is what kids do. Who cares? Be a kid. If it means that you're going to be financially free, be a kid all you want. That's what I do. I write stuff all the time. Doesn't matter. The act of writing spurs more ideas. The more ideas you get, the more inspiration you get, the more motivation you get, the more momentum that you get. Before you know it, you're going to be off on some great idea. And before you know it, in a year from now, you're going to be saying, hey, I needed 2,000. Now I've got 5,000. Look at me go, right? So anyway, it's a super cool experience. I hope this one helps you out. Again, this is how you can figure out your financial freedom number. I'd suggest start playing around with some numbers. Figure out your expenses. That is number one. You need to know what your expenses are. If you don't know what your expenses are, you can't really do it. You just cannot do it. You need to know what your expenses are. Otherwise, you're just kind of shooting into the dark. You have no clue. If you think your expenses are $1,000 and really they're $2,000, you're going to be way off. You got to figure out your expenses down to the penny first. You got to do that. So anyway, hope this video helps you out. Again, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure to subscribe, share this video, and of course, go back and check out some of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. Again, please leave your comments, questions, and feedback down below. I do my best to read as many as possible and, of course, respond to as many as possible as well. And, of course, I can always make follow-up videos to this one if you need me to, and, of course, answer your questions. So, again, until next time, enjoy your day. Thanks so much for watching this. Have a good one, and I'll catch you again later in the next